Welcome viewers. Today we will be discussing about different types of organizational structure. We will try to understand the types of structure, difference between the simple structure and the functional structure, its benefits and limitations, divisional structure, matrix type of structure, project and network type of structures. So, to understand the structure of organizations as given by Henry Mintzberg, Henry Mintzberg has given the theory of authority, relations and structures. So, the structure of an organization which has been defined by him simply as the sum total of the ways in which it divides labor into distinct tasks and then achieves coordination among them. Organizations, whether it is profit centered or non-profit centered, can be divided into 5 basic forms, that is simple structure, machine bureaucracy, professional bureaucracy, divisional structure or divisional form or adhocracy. Mintzberg's description of organizational structure as given in his book, that is Structuring of Organizations, which he has written in 1979, discusses organizational configuration as a fly model, which resembles as a fly with 6 components. One is strategic apex, that is top management or upper echelon, the middle apex, which is like a middle management, operating core or the shop floor executives, the support staff like human resources, marketing, communication, etc., and techno structure, which emphasizes on the technical support staff, production planning, quality control, etc. So, it is this model appears like a fly with the top management being at the top and the operating core at the bottom of the fly. The structural components of organizations as defined by Mintzberg. Mintzberg has come up with strategic apex, middle line, operating core, techno structure, support staff. These are the primary components of an organization structure. Strategic apex is the top management defines organization's mission and managerial and manages relationship with business environment. Top management is sensitive to the needs of the business environment. It defines the strategies, plans, mission, objectives, the values and how responsive it is with the business environment and the needs of or sensitivity towards the needs of business environment. The top management understands the signals of the customers, the needs of the customers and is more responsive in defining or redefining the strategies. Whereas middle management connects the top management with the operating core. Operating core consists of the employees who deal with the products or services. So, the middle management interprets objectives which have been proposed by the strategic apex and coordinates with employees working below them. Technostructure is the one where analysts and specialists who control the various processes, outputs and develop skills of others, whose emphasis is on developing skill sets of the employees like the human resources, the training and the planning divisions. The support staff, administrative units provide indirect services to the organizations like the cafeteria, legal counsel or the public relations. They are supporting each function in the organization. Mintzberg's proposition of the 5 coordinating mechanisms. The coordinating mechanisms help define organizational structure. It is based on the premise of mutual adjustment, direct supervision, standardization of work processes, standardization of outputs. Mutual adjustment is coordination through informal communication and teamwork. The plans or the formal propositions or the formal schedules are there, but there has to be a mutual agreement, coordination through informal interaction, through informal or interpersonal relationship in small or highly complex innovative organizations. There is a need for direct supervision, like for example, managers give specific instructions and supervise works of others, for example, in simple centralized structures. Standardization of work process, coordinating functions, coordinating work using standardized rules and procedures such as in bureaucracy. Standardization of output, coordination is achieved by specifying desired outcome of work. This allows managers of different units to work with a degree of autonomy. Mintzberg's organizational configurations have been proposed as simple structure, machine bureaucracy, professional organizations, divisional structures, adhocracy or innovative organizations. Let us begin with what is simple structure as per Henry Mintzberg. Organizational configuration is referred as entrepreneurial, characterized by a flat structure with a heavy strategic top leading to direct supervision of work processes. Machine bureaucracy, the configuration is characterized by standardization of work processes. There is heavy middle management and focus lies on technical structure. Professional organizations characterized by guidelines and procedures employs highly educated people and focus on operational core and divisional structures like divisions made on product groups focus on middle management and product is highly standardized. Divisional structure found in the in large organizations with different product groups. For example, Shell's divisional structure has oil, fuel, plastics and petrochemistry. Adhocracy or innovative organizations work done on project basis with multidisciplinary professionals. The project teams, cross-functional teams where the focus is on completion of the project, people come from different divisions, different organizations. They have their focus is on completion of the project, on uh, developing a new product like with their multidisciplinary approach or with with their expertise and experience knowledge base. The 5 structural configurations as proposed by Henry Mintzberg, the simple structure, machine structure, professional bureaucracy, divisionalized form and adhocracy, the structural configurations as proposed by Mintzberg, it is differentiated based on the coordinating mechanism, the key part of organization affected and the type of organizations. So, to begin with the structural configuration of simple structure, the coordinating mechanism is direct supervision. The key part of organization affected is upper echelon or the top management. Type of organization is highly centralized or centralization. Further, machine bureaucracy is the next configuration as proposed by Mintzberg. It emphasizes on standardization of work processes as the coordinating mechanism and the focus is on the technical staff and type of organization is limited horizontal decentralization. The third one, which is professional bureaucracy, there is focus on the coordinating mechanism of standardization of skills. Skills are standardized and the key part affected is operating level, operational core and the type of organization is vertical and horizontal decentralization. The fourth structural configuration of divisionalized form, the coordinating mechanism is standardization of output. The output is more standardized, the finished goods are more standardized. The key part is middle level is involved and type of organization is limited vertical decentralization. Adhocracy is the strategic configuration where there is the coordinating mechanism is mutual adjustment, mutual interaction and the key part of organization is the support staff, the people in different support capacity and type of organization is selective decentralization. It is the nature of organization is project based, or task forces, committees or the projects which require some multiple skill sets of individuals. So, common organizational designs, traditional designs, we have simple structure and functional structure and divisional structure. The simple structure is having low departmentalization, a wide span of control, centralized authority like formalization. Functional structure is departmentalization by function like operations, finance, marketing, human resources, product research and development, new product development and divisional structures like they are composed of separate business units or divisions with limited autonomy under coordination and control of the parent organization or corporation. What are the strengths and weaknesses of traditional organizational designs? For a simple structure, the strength is they are flat, flexible, inexpensive to maintain and very clear accountability, whereas uh, they are not appropriate as organization grows. When the organization grows in terms of its size, the reliance on other person or reliance on one individual is very risky. So, this is one of the weakness of a simple structure. Further, the functional structure also has certain strengths and weaknesses like the cost saving advantage from specialization, economies of scale, minimum duplication of people and equipment, and employees are grouped with one another or who have similar tasks. The prominent weakness of a functional structure is functional goals can cause managers to lose sight of what is best for overall organization. They are too narrowly focused on their own function and they ignore the organizational objectives. Functional specialists become insulated and have little understanding of what other units are doing. They become insensitive to other units' goals. Divisional structures, they focus on results. Divisional managers are responsible for what happens to their products and services. Their focus is always centric on their own division and duplication of activities may happen. The weaknesses, the prominent weakness is duplication of activities and resources, increases cost and reduces efficiency. So, summarizingly, features of simple structure: minimal hierarchy, staff reports directly to the owner, roles are fairly loose defined for flexibility, informal communication for coordination, centralized structure and owner makes most of the decisions. Organizes employees around specific knowledge bases or other resources like production, marketing, finance and so on. The functional structure supports professional identity and career path, permits specialization and easier supervision. It creates economies of scale, common pool of talent. The limitations are most emphasis on subunit rather than organizations, high dysfunctional conflict and poor coordination requires more control. Divisional structure organizes employees around output, clients or geographical areas and building block structure, it accommodates growth, better coordination in diverse market. There is a limitation like duplication, inefficient use of resource, specializations are dispersed creating silos in the knowledge, difficult to determine which divisional structure should have priority. There are few contemporary organizational designs like team structure, a structure in which the entire organization is made up of work groups or teams. Advantage of the team structure is employees are more involved and empowered, reduces barriers among functional areas. The greater shortcoming of the team structure is there is no clear chain of command, pressure on teams to perform. Similarly, a matrix project structure is a structure where which assigns specialists from different functional areas to work on the projects who return to their areas when the project is accomplished, or projects is a structure in which employees continuously work on one project after the other. As one project is completed, employees move to the next project. So, there is a it's an ongoing activity where people keep on moving from one project to another project. The advantage of the project type of structure is its fluid and flexible design that can respond to the environmental changes or it will help in taking faster decision making. And the shortcoming of the project type of structure, matrix project structure, is complexity of assigning people to projects, tasks and personality conflicts generally occur. Team structure is the one, the entire organization is made up of groups or self-managed teams of empowered employees. On the other hand, the matrix and project structure, specialists from different departments are assigned to work on the projects which are led by the project manager or project leader. Matrix project participants have two managers and in project structure, employees work continuously on projects, keep moving from one project to another project as it is completed. I will give you one example of W.L. Gore's team based structure. This is an American company, multinational company, which has an extreme team based organizational structure which eliminates the traditional hierarchy. Associates are organized around self directed teams at dozens of manufacturing and sales offices around the globe. The important features of the team based structure is the teams are self directed work teams. They work on their own agenda and based on the team members. Teams organized around various processes. They are very flat, flexible and few management levels, very little rules and regulations or formalization, usually found within a divisionalized structure. Evaluating the team based structure, we can find the benefits and limitations. Like the advantages of the team based structure is it is responsive, flexible, lower administrative cost and more informed decision making as they have power to take decisions. And limitations are interpersonal training cost is very high, slower during team development phase. As we know that there are different phases of development of team. In the team formation stage, norming, forming, storming, performing and adjourning. These stages, it is slower during the team development phase, the performance is very slow and stress due to ambiguous roles. As it is a self-managed team, the roles are not very clearly defined and this will lead to ambiguity in the roles, which will again create problems with the supervisor role when it is changing. And in the matrix type of structure or matrix or project based structure, employees are temporarily assigned to a specific project team and have a permanent functional unit. Mostly in General Motors, it follows a matrix type of structure with the team leaders or the head of the teams located in different locations, in different corporate offices, in the product development team, supply chain, there is a like production team, customer experience team, there is a business service team. So, these are different types of services, these are different types of project leaders who are taking care of development of the project, as well as the top management or the respective departments are located in different geographical locations. Where some may be located in America, North America, some may be in Europe, Asia Pacific, Latin America and East Africa. So, the employees who are reporting to the respective functional team leader, they may be working with other project head who may be located in some other department or in other location. So, in a matrix type of structure, there are generally two bosses an employee has to report. Similarly, BioWare, an electronic games company, has adopted a matrix organizational structure and it has balanced the need of teamwork and information sharing. If you evaluate the matrix structure, the benefits of matrix structure is uses resources and expertise most effectively, improves communication, flexibility, innovation and focuses specialist on clients and products, supports knowledge sharing within specialty across groups, solutions come up when two divisions have equal importance. The limitations of matrix structure is it increases goal conflict and ambiguity, two bosses dilute accountability, more conflict, organizational politics arise and leads to stress. Project based structures include the film production industry where teams form for each movie and disband afterwards. Construction companies where teams are assembled for each building project. Software development firms create dedicated teams for new products and consulting companies organize work around client specified projects. Excellent choice is for tasks with flexible deadlines that are not closely linked with another project. Projects require multiple roles like project manager, designer, tester, analyst, etc. Early stage projects require end-to-end engagement from product, discovery, requirement gathering, designing, coding, testing, deploying and maintaining. Some common examples of project based structures: construction companies such as building a home or a bridge is treated as a separate project with a dedicated team of architects, engineers and contractors. Film and entertainment industry production companies create temporary project teams for each film or TV show. Software development companies, they also work on project based structures, forming teams to develop new software products or features. Agile methodologies are frequently employed to manage these projects effectively. Consulting firms structure their work around client project, forming specialized teams for each client's unique needs. These teams are temporary and dissolve once the client's project is finished. Space exploration agencies organize project team structures to manage complex long term missions such as Mars rover missions or construction of space technologies, etc. So, there are four types of organizational structure, each of which influences management and organizational projects like functional matrix and composite structure. Functional structure, projects are initiated and executed by the divisional manager who assumes the project manager's duty in addition to their regular functional roles. They are often given secondary title as coordinator of the project. Project oriented organizations, these companies do most of their work on a project basis and are therefore structured around projects. This includes contractors, consultants and service firms. Matrix structure is a project manager is assigned from within one of the functional departments in either a part-time or a full-time capacity. They are assigned project team members from various departments who are released from the departmental duties, and a high priority is given placed on the completion or performance of the project. Composite structure occurs when a project structure and a functional structure both report to the central executive. So, these are various examples of the types of organizational structure which influences management of organizational projects. Contemporary organizational designs like boundaryless structure. What is a boundaryless structure? A structure that is not defined or limited to artificial, horizontal, vertical or external boundary, includes virtual and network type of organizations. Advantage of such type of boundaryless structure is they are highly flexible and responsive, draws on the talents wherever it is found. Disadvantage is lack of control, communication difficulties. Boundaryless organizations are flexible and unstructured organizational designs and is intended to break down external barriers between organizations and its customers and suppliers. It removes horizontal boundaries or internal boundaries, eliminates the chain of command, has limitless span of control, uses empowered teams rather than departments, eliminates external boundaries, uses virtual, network, modular organizational structures to get closer to the stakeholders. How do you remove external boundaries? Removing external boundaries, we have virtual organizations, network organizations and modular organizations. Virtual organizations consist of a small core of full-time employees and temporarily hires specialists to work on opportunities that arise. Consultancy firms, they are like a virtual organization. Network organizations, a small core organization that outsources major businesses functions, for example manufacturing, in order to concentrate on what it does best. Modular organizations are manufacturing organizations uses outside suppliers to provide product components to its final assembly operations. Network organization structure, where the firm has the core firm outsources major business functions like product development. There is a partner may be located in a geographical location like US, or there is a call center which is located in India. You have a package design partner who is located in UK, and assembly partner who is located in Mexico, and accounting partner is located in Canada. Most of the manufacturing firms, they are, in order to be lean and thin, or they have developed this kind of association or a network type of structure, so that they do not have to spend much on hiring manpower, and they just hold the core structure or the core business, and rest of the businesses are outsourced. Network structure: an alliance of several organizations for the purpose of creating a product or serving a client. Virtual corporations: like several independent companies that form unique partnership teams to provide customized products or services, usually to a specific client for a limited time period. So, there are many turnkey projects which are based on virtual cooperation or virtual corporations. Evaluating network structure, we find that network structures are highly organic or flexible, efficient from acquiring and discarding resources as needed from partnership, and the limitations are: exposes core firm to market forces, shortages of facilities and talent, less control over non-core processes. A firm would have been more efficient if they have a control over the non-core processes. In case of a failure of any of the non-core process, the entire organization will crumble down. So, today's organizational design do also have certain challenges, like keeping employees connected, widely dispersed and mobile employees, building a learning organization, managing global structural issues like cultural implication of design implements. Today's organizational design challenges are: the organizations as a learning organization that has developed the capacity to continuously learn, adapt, change through the practice of knowledge management by employees. Characteristics of learning organization: an open team based organizational design that empowers employees, extensive and open information sharing. Leadership provides a shared vision of the organization's future, a strong culture of sharing, values, trust, openness, and a sense of community. So, with this, what we have discussed so far, today we have discussed in this lecture, we have discussed about various types of organizational structure. We discussed about the concept of evolution of organizational structure, Henry Mintzberg's principles of authority structures and relations, and drawing a lesson from his book, Structuring of Organizations. We have moved towards understanding how the organization is analogous to a fly model. Then we further discussed about the various structures like strategic apex, middle line, operating core, then technostructure, support staff, operating and middle line, how they have helped in managing the organizational structure. We further discussed about the coordinating mechanisms of mutual adjustment, direct supervision, standardization of outputs, and further how it has helped in evolving into 5 prominent structures, that is simple, machine bureaucracy, professional organizations, divisional structures, adhocracy, which gives the fundamental understanding of the various forms of organizational designs like simple structure, functional structure, divisional structure, and further we have also discussed about the advantages, disadvantages of each type of the structures, and there is also a discussion regarding the contemporary organizational design structures like team, matrix, project structure, the benefits of the team structure, matrix, project structure. Then we also discussed about the different types of project type of structures, the problems of the contemporary organizational designs. So, we have overall discussed about the challenges of network, virtual organizations, and what an organization do in order to keep learning and moving ahead, how today's organizations are meeting with the design challenges. Thank you.